Now you're looking live here. This is Washington, D.C. Moms Against TikTok holding a news conference to express their outrage over the platform. Of course, all of this is happening against the backdrop of the CEO of TikTok, Shou Chew, testifying before the House Energy and Commerce Committee. So they're calling for obviously a ban on TikTok, what they say is a destructive platform and a platform that even the FBI Director Christopher Wray has said is a national security concern. While inside, the testimony got a little bit heated. So again, we watched developments there, and our Kimberly Ducard is watching more on the hearing. We want to bring in now former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump, KT McFarland, would get more reaction on what's happening in D.C. on this. KT, always great to have you in. Thanks for your time today.
Well, it's a great pleasure, and especially on this topic. You know, here's the thing about TikTok. It's not only a pernicious app on your phone, it spies on everything you do. You may think you've turned it off, your cell phone off. No, you haven't. They're listening to everything you're saying. They've taking every site you're visiting. They're looking at every correspondence you have. They're looking at everybody in your address book, even when you've turned it off and unplugged it. But what's worse, Bianca, is what they do next. They take all of that data that they've learned, all that information about you personally, and then they put it in an algorithm and they spin it around and twist it around to try to play with your head. So what they do is they point you towards bad behavior. They point you against people that you might like. They stir up a lot of trouble. And there's no way that the Chinese Communist Party isn't in the absolute middle of your life with TikTok.
Because while the CEO came today and said, we're excited to be here, and then went into the room, they also gave out a fact sheet called Myth versus Fact, and it tucked in, KT, the very last element was, yes, at one point we did have some improper employees who did try to track journalists. I mean, journalists who were trying to uncover the things that were duplicitous, things that were going on. Are you really just appalled that, you know, we still see TikTok even being used, and the Biden administration loves to use TikTok influencers, and some of the Democrats use it as well to get their messaging out?
You know, we tried to shut it down in the Trump administration, and then when President Biden came in, he decided, oh, no, TikTok is just great for the reasons that you've said. There should be one question that somebody on that committee asks the CEO of TikTok, and that is, you say you're not sharing information with the Chinese Communist Party. Get him to say, we're not sharing information, and then ask him, are you personally willing to violate the Chinese National Security Act, which has a death penalty for any person or company that refuses to give the Chinese Communist Party, the Chinese intelligence services, everything they ask for whenever they ask for? You know, the Chinese Communist Party is listening, so I don't think that CEO is going to, like, you know, cut his own throat with
exactly. And it is mandatory there by the CCP. If they ask a company to spy, they must comply. So great points there. But we do want to also pivot a little bit, because there's so much news happening out of this. You know, we were on Trump indictment watch, but it seems like this week has been so monumental. Trump got out of in front of it, you know, over the weekend. And, you know, the pressure's really been on Bragg. His case, you know, whether it be Costello's testimony, you know, discrediting Cohen. Now we have this letter, and Bragg himself is under the lens of the GOP. He's responded today, as you probably know. He responded. He had to respond. Said, I'll meet with you, but we have sovereign, you know, territory here in New York. KT, just give us your top line reaction to what your thoughts are. Do you think this case is in jeopardy now?
Look, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't talk about the specifics of the case. What I will tell you is that everybody I know in New York City has left. Why have they left? Because of taxes and because the streets are unsafe. I would suggest that Mr. Bragg might want to do the job he was hired by the people of New York to do, which is to protect New Yorkers.
Yeah, it's amazing. In one of his comments responding to the GOP letter, he said he won't be intimidated, and that New York is one of the safest big cities today. So very interesting take and his opinion, which many who live in the city would disagree with. KT McFarland, always appreciate your time. Good to see you today. We know we'll have you back with this TikTok story continues, and a lot of fallout today, perhaps from today's hearing.
Thanks, Bianca. A pleasure.
Thank you.